Help Wanted 2, the third in the 2023 FNAF trilogy that started with a spin-off of Security Breach and continued into a widely grossing film. And yet, for some reason, I never talked about the other two. Well, one, I'm lazy and didn't want to write about them, but more importantly, neither made me as interested as Help Wanted 2 did. For whatever reason, the game that I was least excited about all year happened to be my favourite addition to the FNAF empire for the year. Gonna name it the Ender Effect. But why am I so interested and so enthralled by Help Wanted 2? A game that, admittedly, I haven't played because I don't have a VR. Well, to answer the question, let's go back to the release of Ultimate Custom Night, because, for me, this was the moment that set into motion the last 5 years of FNAF? UCN's over 5 years old? Oh god, oh no. UCN was different, because for the first time, it wasn't as serious a FNAF game. Instead, it was just a game released to be the ultimate challenge for everyone to try and beat. A game dedicated to the fans who had beaten 420, 1020, and every version of Nightmare and Blind Mode that there is. In doing so, UCN started a new tradition of trying to break the script and do something different in FNAF. Something that can be seen in basically every game they've released since. Special Delivery was new because it was AR, although it's so relevant that I had to Google FNAF AR to remember its name. Help Wanted 1 was new because it was VR, and Security Breach was new because our character learnt how to use their legs for the first time. Now these things were good additions simply because they were new concepts to try out, and some, such as FNAF VR, worked fantastically. But when you're making a second VR game, the novelty of the game being in VR isn't going to be enough to win over your fans and make it a lovable game, and Steel will recognise that, and made sure that it would be a lot more than just a VR game. Help Wanted 2 is fundamentally different, because the whole concept of surviving until 6 AM is almost nigh invisible in the game. Sure, there are a few minigames, especially in the sister location office, that require you to do those sorts of things, but the vast majority are task-oriented minigames. Now, sure, in a way that does turn it into VR's job simulator with Freddy's top hat on, but in my opinion that's okay. While Help Wanted 1 was great for being a game that brought the terrifying first 3 games to real life, a copy of that into this game would have felt poor. And so they didn't. They instead focused on creating new minigames that would bring new experiences and new memories to FNAF. Now, sure, that's not saying that defending in our office for the third time in FNAF 3 wasn't memorable. But Help Wanted 2 turned to being a game where it's, oh yay, we defended ourselves for like the 10th time, and for the second time in VR. It became, oh that was cool, I managed to hold off Lefty while operating on a screaming version of Helpy. In doing so, they also managed to make a FNAF game that everyone could play. And I do mean everyone. Help Wanted 2 is the kind of game that you could have Mum play while she's over for Christmas, because it doesn't require clicking, well done. Because it doesn't require quick clicking or good skills with a mouse and keyboard. Instead, you just use your body to control what you're doing. Now, yes, as I said earlier, doesn't that just turn this into a FNAF version of Job Simulator? And yes, I think it does. But I don't think this is a bad thing. After a movie that many expected to be able to understand immediately, but many didn't due to their lack of FNAF knowledge, a game that didn't require understanding of lore or backstory was perfect. Instead, you just get a selection of games from across a few different locations and get to enjoy the novelty of being in Freddy's world without the constant fear of a 5 AM jump scare. Now, this isn't to say that Help Wanted 2 didn't have any lore, because boy oh boy I am very excited to talk about the lore that this game has delivered. I'm sure I'll mention it at a later time, although with my upload schedule be prepared for it to take a while. But despite the fact that this game was definitely engineered to be for newer FNAF fans, the lore was not. It also wasn't a Security Breach lore, where there is everything everywhere and no way to really answer it all. Rather, it has specific moments of lore importance, just enough to remind people that there is a story behind it all, without getting lost in the story behind it all. I'll discuss the lore itself at another time, but for now I will just say this. If my interpretations of the lore are correct, which they might not be, then Steel Wool has taken a big risk, and one that I am a huge fan of. Now, whilst the lore is impressive, and I'm quite happy with what Steel Wool gave us, the fact that it was combined with a game that feels like everyone can enjoy it makes it even better. I don't want to drag this video on for too long, especially since I have no time to edit it, so that'll be it. I could be wrong in my analysis, so let me know if you think otherwise. I'll try and get a video out about the lore soon, and I'll see you all another time.